Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Story Time. I'm Miss Lyn, and I'm here at the Graves Library. I am very happy to see all of you here today, and I hope that you've had a good week and that you're having a good start to your day this Friday that we are coming to you via the Graves Facebook or YouTube, and I believe this will be also posted to one of the TV channels. So today I am dressed in my black watch plaid flannel, and I have a scarf on, and I kind of guess that when you see this video it will be really warm and a beautiful day. So in this month of March we have days like that. They're super cold and we get snow, then we get warmth, we get rain, and then it's also very chilly at night. But those warm days and chilly nights really make for something special to happen here in the state of Maine. And that is the tapping of our maple trees. Ah, yes, I see some of you nodding and understanding, and maybe you have family or friends that have a sugar house or tap their maple trees for the sap to make into syrup. Well, if you don't, I know that on Sunday, March 26th, is known as Maine Maple Sunday, and that's when a lot of the sugar houses and farms who do tap their maple trees offer special breakfasts, and they have wonderful jugs and jars of maple syrup, and you can even watch some of the process of the sap being boiled down into syrup. So, can you guess what kind of book I'm going to read today? Something to do with maple syrup, maple trees, and tapping those trees. All right, is everyone comfy and cozy and ready to hear this really fabulous story that I have? Okay, it looks like you're all ready to go. I know that I am. All right, here is our book, How to Tap a Maple. It is written by Stephanie Mulligan, illustrated by Connie Rand, and published by McSee Books. And McSee Books is located right here in Maine. Lincoln, Maine, actually. And Stephanie has lived in Maine, I think, her whole life. And this story is based on a personal interaction with her children and their grandfather. And it does involve tapping maple trees. And also, a shout out to Connie Rand, the illustrator, who also lives and has been in Maine for a very long time. So there's our front cover. We see someone, looks like maybe a little girl, who is pouring sap into a big bucket. Here's our maple leaf. And in the background, we see a deer and all these trees with still some snow on the ground because the leaves haven't come out, and it's the ideal time to tap the maples to gather the sap. I'm going to show you the back cover. Look at that. There are the buckets that are attached. They're nails, they're spigots in the tree, and the buckets are attached, and the sap will flow into the buckets, but someone has to go out each day and gather that sap. And then it's taken to the sugar house and boiled down. Okay, here we go. How to tap a maple. Comfy here? All right, there we go. Luke and Layla's winter was beginning to seem long, till Grampy started whistling his maple syrup song. It's time to teach you all about tapping maple trees. So much to learn, and we'll have fun. Pay close attention, please. When temperatures are perfect, the sap will surely flow, with daytime in the 40s and nighttime well below. So it's just like our weather that's happening now. We have daytime temperatures of 40, 50 degrees, but at night it gets still very, very chilly. Let's drill those holes, says Grampy. We'll bore 2 inches in. Soon buckets will start filling and collecting will begin. The bigger, thicker maple trees can take more holes for sap. If one is big enough around, we'll grab another tap. The spikes or taps are nice and clean. Make sure the fit is snug. In 2 days, when we all come back, we'll find there's sap to lug. Now there's the tap, and that sap is going to come out of the tap and fill that bucket. So it sounds like Grampy and his helpers come every 2 days. 2 days go by, the kids are here and eager to learn more. They hope there's lots of sap to make maple syrup galore. Grampy says, "You'll like this next part. Lifting all the lids and emptying the buckets will be exciting for you kids." "Wow, there's so much sap in here. Just look at this one, guys." Luke points to one nearby and says, "You won't believe your eyes." Luke dips his finger in the bucket for a drop to taste, but this sap isn't very sweet. Ugh, no, what a waste. It's not sugary sweet just yet. "Don't worry, Luke, it will be sweet. I promise you it will. First the sap will need to boil, then soon you'll get your fill." Layla finds an empty bucket. "Could this tree be dead? Where's all the sap?" says Layla. "Did we tap an oak instead?" Luke and Grampy think that's funny. They both laugh out loud. It seems as though an oak tree snuck into the maple crowd. "Let's pour this sap into the pan and grab some logs of wood. I'll light the fire," Grampy says, "so stand back where you should." The evaporator's going. What a happy, sappy day. As sugar boils in the pan, the water goes away. Layla glances past the door and spots a fox outside. "It has pretty orange fur," she said, with eyes so wide. Luke wanders out and hopes that he might see a moose or deer. What fun to see which animals are out there this time of year. Turning his head toward some rustling, he says, "Hey, look over there." Beneath that bush and to the left, there's a little snowshoe hare. "Listen hard," says Grampy, "and you'll hear the Maine state bird. That's the chickadee-dee-dee. What a lovely song we've heard." Have any of you seen these animals while you've been out in the forest? I imagine you've seen the chickadee-dee-dee if some of you have bird feeders. They are at my feeder. Has anyone seen a moose walk by? Maybe. They hear the crackling fire. The steam smells rich and sweet. The children are excited for this fresh, delicious treat. The sap from trees was clear, but now it's thick and amber brown. "It's nearly done," says Grampy. "It'll taste good going down." The sugar sand that formed before must now be filtered out. How syrup runs into a pan beneath the draw-off spout. Grampy takes his finishing pan to a small stove nearby. It needs to boil a little more, and you'll get some to try. You're right. I heard someone say that there's a lot of effort and work that goes into taking the sap from the trees, boiling it down, and getting maple syrup from it. You think it's worth it? I know I do. I love maple syrup on waffles. Finally, he fills his test cup with syrup from the pan. He puts in his hydrometer. "Now read that if you can." "I see some lines," says Luke, "and there's something about bricks." Grampy says, "Look here, it's done. It floats at 66. He points it through a cone-shaped filter into a pot below. They load the syrup on the sled, and homeward bound they go. Counting all the trees they've tapped, there are 133. 10 gallons of sap per maple means a quart of syrup per tree. Luke looks really happy to know that it's going to be something he can taste very soon. Grampy says the syrup won't spoil if it's bottled hot. The jars heat in the oven and the syrup in the pot. Let me hold the hot jars, Luke, and you'll take charge of the spout. Layla watches them fill the jars as liquid gold flows out. The cast iron pan is sizzling with breakfast foods for dinner. Pancakes, eggs, and bacon served with syrup. It's a winner. Is anyone else getting hungry? I think I am. It looks wonderful. At last, Luke and Layla try what they've been waiting for. Their taste buds dance around and shout, "More, more, more!" "Oh, yum," says Layla. "It's so sweet. Can I please have the rest?" Then Luke replies, "Save some for me. This syrup is the best." Grampy serves a yummy feast. It's time to eat, they cheer. Luke says, "Thank you, Grampy. We can't wait to help next year." The author has included what we know as back matter. And I'll pull it close to the camera. And Stephanie has called it sugar slang. So there we go. I'm going to zoom in. And what she has done is she has shown the pictures, illustrations from the text, and then given us a definition. So this one right here is a picture of the sugar shack. And a sugar shack is a building or cabin where the process of turning maple sap, into maple syrup takes place. And we saw that with Grampy's shack. All right, let's see. And we have the firebox. Remember we saw the fire being stoked with the wood? And it says here that a firebox is the part of an evaporator that keeps the fire going and heats up the evaporating pan. So lots of extra information in this wonderful story of how to tap a maple. I think I want to take you back to one of the pictures in the text, but before we do that, the author has also included back matter on maple tree species. I didn't know there were so many different maple trees. So she's given us the picture of the distinct maple leaf and given us a definition about that tree and leaf and which ones are used for maple syrup. Wow, that is so great. Lots of good information. And here is a picture of Stephanie. She's our author. And here's a picture of Connie Rand, who is our illustrator. And I'll zoom in close. You can see them. Yes, they did do a wonderful job together, didn't they? Creating this wonderful book, How to Tap a Maple. So let's go back into the book for just a minute. I want to find the page. And let's see, here it is. I'll read you the sentence again, and then I want to show you something, as it took me a minute to really digest what Stephanie was saying here. Counting all the trees they've tapped, there are 133 trees that Grampy has that he taps and gets sap from and then boils the sap to maple syrup. That's a lot of trees. It's a lot of checking on them and emptying those buckets of sap. Then it says 10 gallons of sap per maple means a quart of syrup per tree. So we have 10 gallons of sap. So I want to show you something. I brought in a 1-gallon container. And some of you might recognize this. Maybe you have milk in the refrigerator, or in this case, water that comes in a gallon container. So this holds a gallon of liquid, just one. And we said that we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gallons of sap to make 1 quart of syrup. Isn't that amazing? That is truly just amazing to me, that all that sap from that tree, which still is producing sap and keeping the tree going, can be pulled off the tree into 10 gallons to make 1 quart of syrup. Pretty interesting information, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little something about tapping maple trees today. I know I did. Okay, so for the craft this week, I know it's so much fun to develop these crafts for you and bring it over. Thank you for your patience. I've created, and you see that? Let me pull it back. There we go. So I have created a maple tree with a spigot or spout with a little metal bucket to collect the sap. In your bag out on the front porch of Graves, you will have brief directions. You'll have a cardboard tube. You'll have a wooden spout, a metal bucket, and this cutout handprint, actually. Isn't that fun? The things you can do with a handprint. It will stick inside this tube. You can draw the branches on to look like your maple tree. I've also given you a piece of twine so that you can attach the bucket to the spout without having to mess around with glue or tape. And this doesn't even need to get glued in. It just gets put inside the cardboard tube. And there you have it. You have your own maple tree that you can pretend you are collecting the sap from, and then you can boil it down and you can have your own creation of maple syrup. Wonderful. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. We have a copy of How to Tap a Maple by Stephanie Mulligan, illustrated by Connie Rand, here at the Graves Library. And I hope that I see some of my friends to come and pick up a craft and to check out this book. It's a wonderful read, and I hope you enjoyed it today. All right. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the days ahead, and I will see you back here next time. Bye for now.